Hello everyone, thank you for joining the Crafty Maven Getaway. I'm Desiree's Tell here on YouTube, and today I will be sharing you a scrap lifted process video. So this is my inspiration. This is what I want to scrapbook, scraplift and scrapbook at the same time. But one thing I love about scraplifting or sketches, I don't feel it's really cheating, especially when you're crunched for time. And I feel like that is always my situation. So sometimes I just don't want to take a long time or all day long trying to come up with something new, something creative. I kind of just want a layout, not a layout done for me, but kind of like a head start, a jumping off point. And so when I saw this layout, when I was looking through the magazine of the scrapbooks and cards, I really love this layout by Sherry Regula. And I'm probably not pronouncing her last name right. Excuse my voice. It is really early in the morning that I'm doing this voiceover for you guys on Christmas Eve. But I didn't have any of the products that she had used. She was using some of the Merry Days by Crepe Paper, which I absolutely wanted so bad. Oh, sorry. My dog was chewing on something, but it's just his toy. Anyways, I really wanted the Crepe Paper Merry Days, but I am on a complete freeze. I'm no longer shopping. I have had such a huge inventory, and unfortunately, I can't be the one that can purge and buy new stuff all the time. So right now I got some other priorities that need to take place, and so I'm using what I got, and that is one thing that I absolutely love because I feel like I accomplished using the products that I have purchased. So I went through my stash and I found this pink paisley Yuletide, and I noticed on the layout she had used cardstock, and then she used a pattern paper, and then she kind of had another pattern paper that reads more of kind of like a neutral layout, which is the wood grain. So when I was going through the paper pad, I had not only this paper pad that I never even really broke into, but also some loose papers that I must have really liked and just purchased additionally, or in addition to that. And so I thought about using cardstock, but then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to use up as much as I can from this paper pad. So I grabbed the red diagonal stripe that you see right there. I'm going to use that as my base. And then I picked out the Holly and Berries pattern paper, which I absolutely love. And then I picked out, not wood grain paper, because there was no wood grain paper, but I picked this one that was closest to it to represent that. Now I thought about using that extra piece just to add another layer, but I decided not to. And I'm going to try a couple of different pattern papers, and then I'm going to go to some white cardstock. So here's some scrap white cardstock. I really like the look of that, even though there is a lot of white already in that pattern paper that you see with the Holly and Berries. Now I have this stash of white cardstock that I have made attempts to make a background using whether it's inks or modeling paste. And if it didn't turn out the way I liked, I don't throw it away. I use it again to create mats around photos, or in this case, the paper. So I'm going to use this to frame out that paper so it kind of pops a little bit. And I'm really liking the look of it so far, especially because if you have been following me for a while, you know my favorite colors are, I always talk about this, aqua and mint and peach and gray and I already said aqua. So there's pink. Did I say pink, aqua, mint, peach, and gray? Those are like my favorite colors to work with. But I don't want it to be where my whole layout is just nothing but that. I do want to have a little bit of variation. And so me picking out this color really was something new to me, and it felt really fresh. So right away, I'm already using a layout I've never done before. And then I'm playing around with products that I haven't used yet. So everything is already feeling really new to me. And that is one thing that I love when I shop my own inventory. Now here I thought about making that heart, and that's why you see me kind of crease the paper, the red paper. But I realized if I was to crease it, I didn't want to have that on the heart. So I'm going to use my silhouette cameo off camera. But I still felt like the photo needed a little bit of something else. So I'm going to go with this, I don't even know what to call this color green, more like an avocado green, to mat my photo. And I'm going to quickly do that. I really like the geometric pattern shape. Now it's not going to really stand out too much against the brown. I guess I could have made one more layer of white cardstock, but I don't in this case. And I'm okay with that. Now again, I'm just shopping my stash. I'm looking for those greens and red tones, and I came across this Sleigh Bells ring. It's by My Mind's Eye. It's really old. I got it from Peachy Cheap, I think. Sticker sheet. And I'm going to look at a couple of the stickers and figure out what I can do, because when I cut this heart out, it is way too small. I misjudged it on my Cameo, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm one of those, if I made it or created it, I'm going to use it for something. So I'm still going to push through, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to copy this layout on every single detail. And that is one thing I love when scraplifting. You can start heading into your own direction. And that's what I did. So I go through my stash and I found these old Paper Bliss. I think they have been in my stash, excuse me, since the beginning of scrapbooking time for me. And I am so glad that I kept them because I really liked how they looked on this layout. The colors worked, sorry, my dog wants to play right now. The colors worked really well with this layout, and I love that they matched so perfectly with this layout. So to me, you know, felt is coming back, and that's what they're made out of, felt and ribbon. And so I don't feel like they look dated at all. In fact, I love the handmade look. It reminded me when I was creating this layout, stop, settle down. Sorry, I rescued a dog. If you don't follow me on Instagram, and he has had my attention for 2 hours, and it's still not enough for him. But it's going back to the layout. One thing that when I was making this layout, it reminded me, the colors and everything and the homemadeness of those embellishments remind me of a time as a little girl when I would go with my mom to these craft shows in people's homes and go look at all the stuff that they made. And you know, that's one thing that I absolutely love about scrapbooking, is it always kind of creates a memory, whether it's the layout that I'm currently working on, like a picture, or just the papers itself kind of reminds me of stories, and that's what I absolutely love. Now heading back to the layout and talking more about that, I went through the Pink Paisley Yuletide also embellishments. There was a lot of acetate, so I did grab these 3 ornaments and that were just on cardstock, and I'm going to use those and place those up at the top because I felt like there needed to be something else. And then I'm going to go back to that sticker sheet that you saw earlier that was by My Mind's Eye, and I'm going to use the one that I originally first peeled, which was the Christmas cheer, because anytime you see your kids with Santa, it does bring Christmas cheer, right? So I'm going to use that as kind of my title. And if you look closely, when I got those stickers, I think I cut off the part where it was supposed to be like there was like a little hole. They were almost like a label. And I, at the time, didn't know what to do with those holes, so I cut them off. And you can see it's not a perfect oval. So I thought about using those, I can't think of that company right now. My mind's at a total blank, but I'm going to use those. They're not enamel dots, they're puffy stickers. Well, while I walked away from this layout and I came back to it, I picked the gold ones. They don't really stick well. They actually kind of just slide around the paper. And so they have a very slick texture to the bottom, so I would have to glue them, and I'm glad I didn't glue them because when I was looking closely, it really didn't cover up the part of where I cut off the ends for brads or whatnot. So I decided to go back and look through my stash of what I can cover up those ends of the label or the sticker, and you'll see that here in a minute. Now with those ornaments, I felt like they were lacking a little bit, kind of just really flat, and I felt like, you know what, I don't want my layout to be completely flat, so I'm just going to add some dimension, and I really like the look of that when I pop them up. I only pop up the 2 and leave the middle one flat, and I like to have that little variation. And then I'm calling it a thumbs up, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm done. But this is when I was like, you know what, though that stickers really bother me, so I take off the puffy stickers. And that's when I went to my Jolie's boutique and I found these candy canes, and I really love the look of adding that touch. I just felt like it was the perfect touch and the perfect way to finish up the layout. Now I do walk away, and off camera I am going to write splatter some ink splatters. I thought about using another Jolie's Boutique. There was this one where it was like for the Santa, it had like a Santa's chair, and there was one that had like a gate at the bottom, and it said picture with Santa and like the time. And I thought about adding it there, but I felt like it was too much. All right, everybody, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Crafty Maven Getaway. If you like my style, definitely go ahead and head over to my channel. I would love to have you there. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so with the Crafty Maven. We would love to have you. There is a ton of inspiration and a lot of different styles by an amazing design team. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas.